Welcome everyone. Hope everyone had a great week this week here at Gurwin. We had some wonderful weather. I saw many people outside on the porches and the patio during the visitations this weekend. Again, as things continue to get better and better outside, as more and more people get vaccinated, we're getting closer and closer to fully opening up. And it's so wonderful just to see so many family members here again and to see everyone up and around in our facility. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Ashareis, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Ashareis, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In this week's Torah portion, we have the story of Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses our leader, the story with the rock. And the story goes the following way. The Jews are traveling in the desert, and this is again after the sin of the spies, where they're decreed 40 years to travel in the desert. And they were traveling, and obviously not too happy about the situation that they could not go to the land of Israel. Things came up all the time, and they came to a place where they complained. They were unhappy with the water. And they complained to Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses the leader, and said, Moses, we need water. We need more water for us. And Moshe Rabbeinu reacted in a way where, a little bit surprising, but he was upset at the Jewish people. He was upset, saying, you guys always complain, you constantly complain, we do have some water. And he asked God what to do. It was a true fact that we did need some water. And God said, speak to a rock. There was a rock. Speak to the rock, and from the rock a miracle will happen, and water will flow from the rock. And it's not exactly clear what happened exactly, but we know Moshe Rabbeinu spoke to the rock, and the rock did not produce any water. And he ended up hitting the rock out of anger, out of being upset. And when he hit the rock, water did flow. But God said, you know, you had an opportunity to teach the Jewish people a lesson. And you were unable to do so, so therefore you are decreed you may also not enter the land of Israel. And it seems like a very, very harsh punishment for such a great leader. But the commentaries explain the following, that the lesson that was supposed to be taught was, when you want something, you shouldn't complain about it. Don't be upset at somebody else. Don't be frustrated, as much as you might want to be frustrated. Just speak calmly and nicely. In the same way, when the Jewish people asked you for water, you should not have responded in a frustrated fashion. So too, speaking to the rock, when the rock did not produce the water immediately, instead of hitting the rock, you should have spoken to the rock again, and the water would have been produced. And that would have taught the lesson that if an animate object like the rock could listen with respect, so too we should also listen with respect to others. And this is the sad story, the sad lesson that Moshe Rabbeinu Moses was decreed not to go into the land of Israel. But the lesson we take out of it is how important it is to treat other people with respect, how to speak to other people nicely, give other people the respect that they truly deserve. Chadodi lekras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela lecha di lekras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela shamar v'zachar b'dibur echad Hishmi Yahanu Kel Hamyuchad Hashem Echad Ushmo Echad L'Shemo Seferes V'Lesila Chad Odi L'Kras Kala Pnei Shabbos Nekabela L'Kras Shabbos Chuven Elcha Ki Mekor Haviracha Meirosh Mikedem Nisucha Sov Maaseh b'machshavat chila lecha dodi likras kala b'nei Shabbos nekabela Mikdash melech ir melucha kumitzi mitoch ha'hafecha ravlach shevet b'yem kabacha hu yachamol alayechem lalecha dodi likras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela hisnari me'afar kumi livshei bigdei sefarte chami al yar ben yishai beis halachmi karva el nafshi geyala lecha dodi likras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela hisariri Kiva horeku mi yore 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 shir daberi Kavod Hashem alayich nigla lecha dodi likras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela lo se voshiv lo sikami Matish dochachi umahatemi bach yechesu ani yami V'nevnesa iraltila lecha dodi likras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela Bawi b'shalom atares b'ala gam berino v'tzahala tochem unei yam segula Bawi kala lecha dodi likras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela. Another very important notice in this week's parsha is the death of Aaron, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. The high priest Aaron finally was his years alive had finished and he passed away. Now in his merit there was the clouds of glory, the clouds that protected the Jewish people in the desert for many, many years. And with his death, the clouds had departed from the Jewish people. And it's something that we have to think about a little bit in our lives. Basically, taking things for granted, assuming that things that have been with us are with us always as well. A lot of times we have good things in our life. We may have a good CNA, a good aid. Maybe the meal might be good for today. And we hope it's that true every single day, but sometimes it's not. And when our expectations are let down, we get upset about it. But instead of looking at the things that we don't have, we have to look at the things that we do have. We have to look at the positives that we have in our life, the positive things around us. And we shouldn't look at a good meal and say, hey, I finally got a good meal. I hope the rest of the meals are like that. We should say, wow, thank you for allowing me to have such a good meal. It's a different outlook, a different perspective. When we're looking at the things that are not going well, we're looking at the positives that are going well. And as the world continues to change and continue to pull out of the pandemic slowly but surely, we have to look at every positive step along the way and be thankful that we reached this highlight. Thank you to reach this goal, and hopefully, soon and shortly, we'll finally reach the ultimate goal. The pandemic will be rid of us, and we'll all be able to get back to our lives the best way we can. Adon olam asher malach v'terem kol yetzir nivra Lies nasa v'chefso kol Azai melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kechlos hakol levahado yimloch nohora v'haya v'hoveh v'yihye b'sifara v'hoechad v'yein sheni Lahamshilo lahach v'hira v'li reishis v'li sachlis v'lo ha'oz v'ha'misra v'hu keli v'chai goali v'tzorach evli v'yeis nasa v'hu nisi umanosli minas kosi b'yom ekra b'yahado avkid ruchi V'yeis ishan v'yahira v'yimruchi geviyasi ado shem li v'lo ira. Everyone should have a happy and healthy Shabbat, a great weekend. We'll see everybody next week.